Hey guys, Karen, Lavender Clothesline. It is Saturday morning early and I am just about to head out, hit the road, and hopefully we will find lots of treasure. So be sure to leave a comment down below of what your favorite item was, what you would have picked up, maybe what you would have skipped that I picked up. We all know I pick up crazy stuff. Please hit the like and subscribe button. Let's get on the road. I am excited to see what treasure is out there. Sure why this film came out a little bit foggy. I think because the sunshine was so bright, but here we are at Goodwill in Mount Joy. This is a really small Goodwill that I come to once in a while I'm down this way. I have found Harley Davidson boots here, a leather jacket, and a few other items that brought very good money. So let's go inside and take a look-see. A lot of times the stores around this area have some new retail arbitrage. I was looking at these melamine plates. I have sold melamine plates, but I really look to buy in at 25 cents. I did like this design. I think this is great for kids, but I didn't think there were enough of them. If I could have gotten those for 25 to 50 cents and there were a lot of them, I would have definitely bought those. Most times when I'm in Goodwill, I don't buy new retail arbitrage like the things I'm looking at here. But I always look to expand what I'm doing and, just learn as much as I can. So while these things were interesting, I passed on them quickly and went down the first aisle. This thrift store is considered a college town thrift store. But yet I don't find a lot of good, I'm going to call it juniors clothing like I do in the other college town thrift stores. But like I said, I do like to pop in and see what they have. A lot of times I can find Amish dresses in these stores, and I have sold probably hundreds, if not thousands of Amish dresses. Okay, maybe thousands is exaggerating, but I always look for a well-made Mennonite or Amish, a handmade dress. This print caught my eye. This is Mary Miko for Target. Now, when I find Mary Miko, the brand itself, I always buy those. Mary Miko for Target has just done okay for me. It doesn't bring a lot of money, so I left that blouse behind. As you can see, some of the shelves were quite bare, but I always stop and take a look anyway. This store has started to put their Christmas stuff out. Nothing like rushing 2020 along. So I wanted to check out the hard goods section, which is not a very big room. It's sort of like a small room off to the side, but once in a while I find some good vintage things in this area. I did pass by that little truck. If you were wondering, it was plastic and not very well made. This rooster's statue was made out of a plastic resin. And in the past, I might have bought this. A lot of times, these cheaply made decor pieces don't cost a lot originally, but something like that I could probably move for about $20. But I'm really trying not to do that to myself and, ship those heavier things that don't bring a good profit. Here I'm looking at wall pops, gold foil dots that you put on your wall. I kind of liked this idea for stickers to seal packages with. I left them behind. Those would have been for personal use. This almost seemed like a neti pot, one of those things that you put warm water in and put it down your nostril. I'm not sure if that's what this was or if it was some sort of pipe, but it did have a crack, so I left that behind. How cute is this pig bank? I loved him. Now the problem was he had no stopper, and his stopper was supposed to be oval. And I thought that might be hard to find, but I thought she was too cute. I've been calling her a him, and I put her in the cart anyway. As you can see, doesn't really seem to be too many phenomenal pieces, but never say never. I have found really amazing items in a store that look just like this. So this picture was interesting. I think the mark on the bottom was interesting to me, but I didn't like that pattern. The blue carts that get wheeled out, some stores let you look through. Usually it's new inventory coming out onto the floor, and some stores don't want you going through them. I did take a quick peek, and there wasn't really much in the cart. I don't pick up bells, but there I am looking at them anyway. Once in a while I'll pick up a bell from Fenton or, a higher end company, but not too often. Are you guys proud of me? I put it down. I walked away. That cat mug wouldn't have brought a high price anyway. This I found pretty interesting. This was a vintage tin. Not quite sure what it would have been used for. Something in an office, a desk organization tin. And I believe that was hand painted at the time of the manufacture of the tin. So I did put it in the cart, and I wound up purchasing that. And there's the tap. My whole family taps like that. I think it's genetic. I was trying to figure out what this clown wooden thing was. So they wanted $7.47. You can see the brass fitting in the back, so I was thinking maybe it was a lamp originally. The very base was wood, but the rest of it, I'm gonna say it was maybe a resin. I don't even know, guys. It wasn't chalkware. I'm not quite sure what he was made out of. But that threw me for a loop. I didn't know if it was somebody's project. They were trying to make a fountain out of him. No clue. And I put him back. If he was a lamp, I would have bought him. As you can see, that's a contemporary piece, and I figured that from the way it looked. But even when I know I'm not going to purchase something, I always want to see the bottom and who's making it. I'm guessing that might have been a part of a bird feeder where the seed went. That's just a guess. It's a little Pepe Le Pew. Does anybody remember Pepe Le Pew? A little skunk plaque. And I did put that in my cart for a while. That I could tell right away that was not good. So here comes a spoiler alert. In this store, I found a lot more clothing and shoes than I did hard goods. The hard goods section was really bare, as you can see, and not very many, interesting pieces. This next plate, I believe, was a student piece. Dickinson, 2014. I think these basket weave pieces are usually meant as a bread basket or for rolls. I think you put a towel, a tea towel, you line it, and you put warmed bread from the oven. And I think the spaces allow the steam to escape from the warmed rolls. That's my guess. Well, I do pick up plaques of this type, the vintage plaques. I didn't care for that style. When I come upon stores that have very bare shelves, really not very good items, it doesn't discourage me. It makes me feel like I just need to find the treasure. Here's a swan. We've all been finding a lot of swans, and I wanted to show how dirty. Look at the dirt inside. See that dirt? That's an aged dirt. You can tell that dirt has been around a while. Now, while I wasn't going to buy this swan, I do keep an eye on things like this. So maybe that was a mistake on my part, but I did want to make note and show you guys, when a planter looks like that, that's showing the age. It's another Goebel copy. I think that's how you say that, Goebel. I know a lot of people pronounce it Goebel. Okay, I thought this bunny rabbit was good. I know a lot of you are saying that bunny rabbits are creepy a lot of times. And while I see what you're saying, I still think that the old painted, molded bunnies can bring good money. Not as good as the Christmas trees, but that bunny probably would have brought a decent profit, but I didn't feel like shipping a bunny. I'm getting ready to fly back down to Florida again. I think this is my 8th trip this year, so I didn't want to pick up too many breakables today. Here is a fromage cheese plate. Fromage is cheese in French. Sigma, Howard Kaplan's country store, the Taste Setter. Not sure where that's sold, but I didn't think it would bring, a very big amount of money again. And there's me looking at a single mug. I will really have to discipline myself not to pick up single mugs. I'm working on it. Now watch, when I finally accomplish that, I'll probably, ignore picking up the mug that will make me rich. Too funny. I always look through picture frames, not only the artwork, but the actual picture frames. I have done very well and have made a lot of money selling expensive picture frames. So what I'm looking for are frames that are sterling silver, ones that are really encrusted with, crystals or those type of thing. And usually you can tell from the back of the picture frame the quality that went into the backing. It'll be moire silk, or, it just won't be a piece of cardboard. There I'm zooming in on the blue cart. See it? So I decided to go through the clothing a little bit. When I don't look at clothing piece by piece, most times I'm just going up and down the aisle and looking for the quality and the pattern. Here, this Banana Republic tweed jacket, quite beautiful. I'm not quite sure why I didn't pick that up. I guess I wasn't feeling it, but that probably would have sold and brought very good money. Now, I'm not saying it would sell very quickly, but I think that jacket would have done well. I thought that one might have been a Pendleton or a Woolrich, but it was a no name. I think it was Alfred Dunner. I didn't even catch the label. As you guys know, I have stopped picking up women's jeans. They just don't sell quick enough. It really drives me crazy when they put the sticker right over the name. And then you go to peel the price sticker off and it takes the foil of the inner sole off. So discouraging. Now, while the store was following all of the social distancing rules, they did have arrows. We had to wear masks. The clothing racks were very tightly packed and they were very close to one another. So I did try to do this store very quickly, as quickly, as I could without missing out too much. And that's why I'm not looking at the pieces of clothing one by one. I don't know that I was really seeing that much high-end clothing in the women's, but I do go on to find some really good pieces in the men's. I love selling men's clothing, almost more than women's clothing now, I have to say. So here I'm just like perusing. I'm just scanning to see if there's anything good. And here I find, I believe this is a J. Crew. Yes. J. Crew, size 14, like a tweed again. So normally I would pick this up and the Banana Republic jacket that I put back. But right now I'm being really choosy because I am bringing a lot of inventory into the house. I control the amount of items I'm bringing in, kind of like gates. I'll open the floodgates and let a lot pour into the house, and then I'll start the processing of it right away and see where I stand. If it feels overwhelming, then I close the gates down a little bit and I become a lot more picky. So I do that. That's always been my business model, I should say. So right now, while I'm making this video, I have a couple of hundred pieces of clothing waiting to be photographed and go on. They're all cleaned and steamed, detagged, ready to go. And I will clear through those before I bring a lot more clothing in. Hard goods kind of pour in at all times. I thought that periwinkle blue was pretty on that quilted jacket. When I look for jackets, I look for jackets with collars. Jackets that have Mandarin collars or Nehru collars are a harder sell. If you don't know what a Mandarin collar is, you want to Google that. Now, I'm not saying they never sell, but most times a collar is needed on a jacket. Those shorts caught my attention because they are a good plaid. Here I find another pair of shorts. Now this is Sandy Kemper, and I've only sold Sandy Kemper once or twice before. It brought probably $20 or $30. I'm going to say $20, $25. This is a pair of Bermuda shorts, and I thought these were quite good, so I did put those in my cart. They were an animal print with coral. If you comp Sandy Kemper, a lot of the pieces are just a bread and butter type of price that you'll get. This is just a few racks of linens, which I did not find anything, but right after the linens and handbags came men's clothing. And I'll show you what I picked up there. This is a Mary Kay bag. I've sold these bags before. They tend to sit quite a while, and they didn't bring a lot of money for me. I'm going to say that Mary Kay bag would bring probably $15. Men's swim trunks are flying out of my store. I cannot keep men's swim trunks, stocked. So always yes to well-made men's swim trunks, whether they be J. Crew, Ralph Lauren, I'm trying to think of who else I've, Tommy, especially if they're the big sizes. Right away, this print caught my attention. I thought it was bark cloth. Bark cloth is usually a Hawaiian type grass cloth, and those do well. Here I'm struggling to get out a flannel shirt. Absolutely, yes, this is LL Bean, the traditional fit. Now this might not move for a month or two, but this will definitely go for Christmas. And I believe men's shirts in this store were $4.25. I'll see if the camera catches a sign. These sneakers caught my attention. I think they were work shoes by Timberland. I think they had a steel toe. And I would have picked these up, but then I noticed there was damage to the toe area. So I put them back. I wind up picking up a lot more men's pants and jeans than I do women's. This is called a Madras plaid, and when you look, Loudmouth. Absolutely yes, all day long. Loudmouth is a golf company that produces very loud clothing. You can really be seen from far away, and I was thrilled to find those two pairs. Depending on the print, I think the highest price I ever got for Loudmouth golf shorts was close to $100. Here I'm finding Weejuns. This is a Bass style, and I've talked about Weejuns in the past. I always check the wear on the heels to see if the person, had a slant in the way that their walk was, whether the heels were worn on the outsides or the insides, because that'll kill a sale fairly quickly. But those were in fairly good shape, and I believe the price was $7.47. I didn't even catch it. We'll have to go back and look. I do look at golf polo shirts, rugby shirts. I don't buy as many t-shirts. T-shirts are hard for me because to me it has to be something really eye-catching, single stitch, vintage, and I'm not very knowledgeable. There was a quick clip, I don't know if you saw that, I hope the camera captured it, that I found a second pair of Weejuns shoes, so I was really thrilled about that. So this is just a little clip of what the Goodwill looks like. If you're in Elizabethtown, Pennsylvania, you might want to take a little peek in that store. This store is in Mount Joy, as you can see, Mount Joy, Pennsylvania, and this is a gift and thrift store. Now, while they do set up little vignettes, which usually drives the price up in a thrift store, this store receives some pretty good donations. I do pop in here once in a while, and while I have to avoid the overpriced items, I do find a couple of good things here once in a while. So today was no different. Let's go in and take a look and see what we can find. So this is coming around the side of the store. Here I'm showing you the sign again. The store is quite large and they do get a lot of donations. So as you come down the driveway, there are barns to the right. You'll see, I'll start walking. And the barns are where they receive the donations. See those two sheds, I should call them? They were really getting the donations this day. So I will check back with this store probably when I come home from Florida in 2 or 3 days. If they're receiving that many donations, I think the pickings will be good. So this store has a tendency to look a little fancier, I'll call it, than a lot of thrift stores. They take great pride in cleaning their items, you know, the hard goods, and displaying them in curio cabinets, which is not my favorite way to shop. I love to schlep it. I love when there's, you know, a thrift store where everything's thrown in and dirty because I feel like the pricing is better. But I went ahead and took a look at what they had and did wind up finding a few good things, but always get an education in these stores. I always turn things upside down. You guys know me. I want to know everything about everything. This little dish was just made in India. As you can see, this was a set from Germany, sugar and creamer. I didn't care for the pattern that much, so I left those behind. That glass vase was catching my attention. I really liked the top. I imagine it was probably like a wine decanter. That would be a guess. Another cat statue. You can see $8.50, which even if I purchased this, too much money. And it was made out of like a cast cement. Cute for a garden. Very heavy to ship. The buyer would have had to pay a lot of shipping for that, so not a good purchase in my opinion. I liked these little trinket dishes. I felt $2.50 was fair. I always make a point at looking through the trays. I have sold quite a few trays when they have a good graphic on them. The souvenir ones from different states don't really do well for me, so I don't pick those up. But I did like this wooden little dish. And you can see they wanted $2.50, which I thought was good. So I did put that in my cart for a little while. They had little shopping carts, and I wound up putting it back. And my reason is that I didn't think the profit would be good enough. I don't want to start picking things up just because they're pretty. I want to really hone my skills that something will bring a very good profit. I did like that daisy tray back there, but I wanted more than one tray. This is an item I talked about recently. See the hole in the top? This is called a hair receiver. This was actually on a woman's vanity, and she would collect her hair in that to use for crafts. This little dish was sweet. Again, kind of a piddly little thing. There's got to be a fine line between the big giant couches I'm picking up and the little tiny trinket dishes. Here I'm jumping over to wallets, little coin pouches. I really like wallets to be in excellent condition when I pick them up. Most of the time I'm looking for like a good high quality leather. I don't pick up a lot of like Michael Kors or those type of things because they're so heavily faked, and I don't ever want my buyer to be disappointed if they get something and it's not genuine. Plus it could hurt my store. So I rather look for the vintage pieces, the well-made pieces, the pieces that are not copied. The minute I touched this handbag, I could tell this leather was beautiful. This is genuine leather. And I'm looking for the marking on the zipper, and there it is, Big Buddha, which Big Buddha is not a huge money maker, but their quality, in my opinion, is really beautiful, and I do sell a fair amount of it. I have learned quite early on not to ignore the stockings section. You'll be surprised how many vintage stockings, new in package, bring very good money. I am still selling through the stockings that I picked up, and I'm getting between $19 and $22 a pack, each individual package of them. So that was a great find on my part. You guys are probably sick of hearing me talk about it. I wound up pulling this handbag down because I remembered selling a handbag with this ruffled leather design. And although I could tell this one was not genuine leather, it was cheaply made, I don't know, I kind of was hoping that it would ring a bell in my memory of which brand it was. I think it was Bagley Mishka. I'm not even sure, but I had found a ruffled bag like that. These shoes caught my attention. Leave a comment down below if you guys have sold this. I didn't know how to say this. There it's upside down. O-T-O-T. Ot-ot? That's all I got. Unless it's Toto backwards. I'm not quite sure. But yep, I took these. I thought these were good. And I did wind up looking up the brand. I ran a comp because I had never heard of the brand. Here I'm looking at the quality of the stitching. See, it's double stitched. I'm always looking at the quality of how something's made. I don't buy a lot of women's clothing in this store. Most of the clothing is not trendy, we'll put it that way. A lot of it is just past its prime, or the style, even to begin with, wasn't good. That's my opinion. I'm not attracted to the clothing in this store. But I do find hard goods. I find shoes. I liked these Born shoes, but I think they had priced these up. I would have tried these on for myself. I love a shoe where you don't have to tie your laces. Yeah, $12.99. I pretty much never paid $12.99 for shoes, so those went right back, especially for Born. Born can sit there forever. That end skirt, I believe, was an Ann Taylor, and it was silk. And there I had to stop the camera because the skirt fell off the hanger. I like the style of this wedge shoe. This is Lucky brand. Some Lucky brand does very well. Very well meaning a good solid $40 for some of their booties. And I did put these in my cart for a little while. I tried them on for a little while and I put them back. I don't think the comp, necessitated picking it up. Can you tell I love a good gold shoe? I love gold. I love wearing linen pants and gold shoes. In fact, the wedge shoe that I showed you that I put back, maybe I should have kept those, although I have a lot of shoes right now. I didn't know this name. Chaco? I forgot to look it up and I left those behind. You guys know me. Look at these shoes. I love these shoes. I love a good animal print. I thought these are super cute. You wear like a skinny jean with the bottom cuffed. And I really liked them. Checking the heels. These are usually made out of pony hair. It's a real fur. And while I held on to those for a while, and I tried them on and they did fit, it wound up that one shoe was lighter than the other. And I've learned to look for that too. I think it happened at time of manufacture. So I'll try to insert a photo here. I think I took a photo to show you guys how one shoe was lighter than the other. And while it wouldn't kill the sale, I don't want the buyer to be upset that, the left shoe is lighter than the right shoe. So I put those back. Thanks so much for sharing in my day. Hope you had a great day where you are. And as always, go out and get what's yours.